Hi Trinny.
Darling, hello.
This is my favourite time of the week when I get to come and have a look in your wardrobe.
It's my favourite time of the week, just hanging with you, discussing my wardrobe.
Belts today?
Belts. Belts. I think if any of you know me a little bit, you know how important a belt is in my life for many reasons. To change up an old-fashioned dress, to readjust the proportions of your body, and to add some sort of cinching in and waist enhancement elements to your figure.
This is a great video because everybody can buy a belt and change up a dress.
Yep, everybody can wear a belt, apart from a lady who is pregnant, because then it's like, where do I put it? But I've got a lot, and I just want to say I've collected them over many, many years, Lucy, many years.
It's always the precursor to these films.
Yeah,
Trinny has a lot of belts.
I do have a lot of belts. Here are the belts, here are the belts. And I keep the belt up here in my kind of wardrobe.
If there was a fire,
yeah,
which belt would you rescue?
I know the belt I would rescue, like in a flash. Like I noticed the other day that it's just about to break. But this belt, which has been around my waist, and that of probably 20 of my friends, because I lend it to them a lot when I do an outfit, is my best investment piece of all time. It's from Saint Laurent, when Saint Laurent used to write their name differently. It's really old Saint Laurent. And it just is the best waist cincher and the best width for my long body and shorter legs. And a lot of you ask about proportion, but when I'm wearing certain pieces, I occasionally buy a dress. So let me give you an example. If I got one up here. So this dress, which I'll put on for you later, the waist is too high on me and it makes me look a little bit too little girly because I'm 55 and that's a little girly dress. But I'm going to show you how I put a belt with it and I change the look and the feel of that dress. So this one I always use when I have a dress and it doesn't have a winching in moment. So this one slightly does, but this comes with something. But let's say I instead used my friend, which I used to use on the tightest setting and now I don't. Sorry, I just don't want to have a whoopsie. But this winches in like that. And whenever you say to me, God, Trin, you have a tiny waist, I'm inevitably probably wearing this belt or a white belt. But I like the patent, I like the structure because it doesn't fold over. So it gives me that defined waist. It's not so wide. And at the back, I can adjust. So if I've eaten quite a lot, I can ease it out. That's very important in a belt, easing out your dinner. And I usually wear it on most of my dresses because the seam of the dress might be here and I put it at the top of the seam, so I pull it down because if you look at the proportions, I'm 5'10". Any tall women who feel they got a long body, if you push your belt down, you will then create your waist sort of in the right place. And if I were to go and put the belt exactly where the waist of this dress is, which would be up here, it doesn't work so well. It makes me just look a bit disproportionate. And then because I have a sway back, it always makes me feel a bit pregnant because it's too high up on my back and you see the distance. These are minute details but really important. You see the distance of the back and where my bottom begins here, whereas if I push that belt down, I look like I have a slightly shorter waist and my then bottom pops out under the belt. But all these little things really help to give you a body in proportion. So this belt, Saint Laurent, cost per wear is probably 20p and it was over £300. But I've worn it over 15 years, probably once a week. That's I would save in a fire. It takes me 10 minutes to tell you how I'd save in a fire. Then the other one I would save in a fire, it's another expensive one. So this belt is from Balmain. This is stretchy. I have even been known, can I just say, when I'm in a hotel room and I'm thinking my arms are flabby, to use it as one of those things. Okay, so this has multiple, keeps my arms, and then I do this, which my trainer taught me, but any stretchy belt, just to ease out your shoulders. If you're on a laptop, it really is good to ease out your shoulders. Lucy, you should do this.
I should do this.
Okay.
I wonder, can I use your Balmain belt to do that?
Okay. What I like about this belt and what's clever about this belt is it's wide, but it has breathing room in the structure. And the only way I can describe that to you is if you're wearing something where you don't want to break up the pattern of a dress. Okay, so I've got on one of my favorite leopard print dresses, which is from Joseph. So I could either do that black, like that, which is fine, works well. There's black in the print. Always try and have some color of the belt in the print. But it makes it very much top and bottom. Okay. But if I do this, what I like is that it doesn't disturb the continuation of the print, but it winches in my waist. And it's sort of, it's not like saying, oh, there's a belt. You know, what the something wrong was, oh, there's a belt. And this is like, there's something which gives a really nice flow. Do you see what I mean, Lucy?
Yes, it doesn't, it's not...
Cutting my body in half.
Yes.
Yeah. And so if you can find belts, these are rare. I once tried to copy this belt for when I did a range with Littlewoods, but it didn't work well. But if you can find a belt which is kind of this crisscrossing motion, if you ever find it, buy it, because I didn't realize how valuable this belt would be in my wardrobe to change up dresses that I had that were a bit dull. Because if I look at it like this, there's a bit rock and rollness about the outfit, and I can wear it with a white trainer. And if I look at it plain, or how it came perhaps, this came with the matching belt.
Oh.
You see, and this with a matching belt there. It's nice, but it's a bit quiet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's that Balmain gave it a bit of rock and roll edge, and this is just now nice.
Yeah.
You know, it's a difference.
It's about taking a dress and making it your own.
It is exactly that. It is like what you couldn't have hit the nail on the head better. Yeah. So those are my two favoured belts, and I've got a third one that's come into the mix. This, Lucy, is my third belt that I would never want to lose. And I got this from a shop in Bath. It's a Diana von Furstenberg belt. She sold it to me as a vintage belt. It was 3 seasons old. It cost me, I think, 120 quid. But it's brilliant because this is a Zara caftan. I'll wear it around the beach. But I'll pack this in my suitcase and I'll put it on. And when you do a really tight belt, always remember, if you've got width of fabric underneath, to pull some of the fabric back to the front before you winch it fully in.
Tell me why you did the fabric around the front.
Okay, so, all right, sometimes we don't think about that. We just go like that and we put it in and we bring it around the back. And I feel that the hang of the dress is wrong. Too much fabric is taken around from the front.
Okay.
And it looks disproportionate at the back. We don't always check our back. It's like scooping and swooping your breast into a bra.
Got it.
Same principle to me. So you can even do this leaning forward, putting it like that, pulling the fabric around. So you look in the mirror and you think, let's get a rig, because I'm going to winch it in. So if I got too much fabric, I need the fabric to be in the right position before I winch. So then I'm going to winch, take it round. So this is like the best corset belt in the world. I mean, I don't know where you're going to find this, and if I find any of these belts or any belts like this, we'll put it up in the blog post, all right? But that's why, Lucy, if you find a belt, you got to get it.
How else could you wear that dress with a belt?
Okay, this is a good dress actually to show how it changes with a belt. So I would definitely do something like this. Now Zara, the last 3 years, have done really good belts, and they're very inexpensive and they work well. So this is one of them. It's stretchy and it has no buckle, so it fits any size. This is a really nice look. Again, get that fabric. Because it's just a neutral. It's what I call a neutral with texture.
That looks great, Trinny.
Isn't that great?
But what do you do with this bit?
This is the little trick. We can all hopefully have from our child or ourselves a little hair slide. So what I generally do is I put it around the belt here, like that, and then I take this round to where I need it. This one's a little bit wide, and there it sits.
Life-changing tips.
I mean, it's so irritating. The other thing I used to do is double-sided sticky tape, but this is so much better. But you see, that has given this look a slightly more ethnic look. So the buckle is round. I generally, if I'm having a drop earring, I'll choose a round with a round.
Yes.
Okay? And there's just something in that. And it brings the flow of the outfit together. So big buckle, round earring, no necklace. That probably is the best look. So I just want to show you the difference, because this is a vintage Saint Laurent and that is Zara. That was £15. That was probably about 60, 80, 100 pounds. So, you know,
You can
look
find
around.
them.
Yeah, and I hardly ever buy new expensive belts, but I buy Zara or I buy vintage. But apart from the Balmain. And the
It was worth it.
DVF. Yeah. So that's sort of oblong.
Yeah.
So with that oblong, I would do like that.
Yeah.
And I love that echo. Echo. Okay?
Yes.
Good. All right. What next, Lou? What else would you like to know?
Well, I've just noticed that those 3 belts are all wide belts.
Yes, they are.
When would you wear a thinner belt, or would you not? Because is it a body shape thing, or is it a styling thing?
Probably a body shape thing, because my body is very long. So let me show you the proportion of bringing a belt down, because do you remember I was mentioning
Yes.
bringing the belt down? Just so you can see how long my waist is. That will give you an idea. And I'll tell you about what to do if you have a short waist.
ASOS dress.
Yeah.
High waist.
For me, high waist, because it's not bad, but it's not brilliant. So it's a little bit high. My waist is probably there. But when I wear this, I do feel from the side a bit. You see, because I have a sway bag, all dresses, if they're high-waisted, go straight down and it doesn't go in. Do you see?
Yeah.
So if you had a short body and long legs, your bottom would start higher up. So you wouldn't need a wide belt to push down your waist.
Yeah.
Or the waist of the dress, to push down the waist of the dress. So if you didn't have a long body, then I would go with something like this. Really pretty. You want to make the dress look more expensive. This is Zara, this season. Fab. But if your bottom starts right here, like there, this is a really pretty belt to use, and it would go on so many things. On a black dress, it would look beautiful. But I happen to love silver and pink. And I think it comes in 2 different sizes, so I'm just going to go to there and then tuck that in. So very pretty with the dress, but for me it doesn't get rid of that. You see, it's still there, sitting there, and if I sat that on the actual seam, because I don't want to see the seam under the belt, I feel just it's not that flattering. I need something wider to take the dress in. Yeah.
I love that idea that so many times I've tried on dresses because I'm tall as well.
Yeah.
And the waistline's just in the wrong place and I just don't buy it. But knowing that if you had the right accessory, you could buy that dress.
Exactly. And there's also something, it's not applying to you at all yet, Lucy, but anyone who's sort of over 45, certain dresses that are pretty, you can instantly feel, like if I wear this like this, I just feel it's a bit high-waisted, so it's a bit sort of nearly princess, like especially some dresses on me will be like that. And I'll feel it's too little girly. I need to roughen it up a bit. I can do my favourite white belt. I could do this one like that. This is the Essentials Antwerp that I've used a lot this summer. So I can then take that belt with its lovely wide buckle. And then I brought the waist down to there now. So the proportion gives me, you know, it's more of pink going to my waist because I pushed it down. And then there's a little bit of white before my legs start. So it just does it. And then at the side, it's sitting at the bottom where my bum is about to begin, and you're not seeing the top of the thing. So you slightly feel the waist is here on this dress. Proportionally, for me, this works better. So thicker belt, long body, shorter legs. Thinner belt, short body, longer legs.
That's the formula for life.
Okay.
Belt life formulas.
Belt life. I did try this. I love this belt. I haven't worn it though, and I think I've got to do something with it. I bought this belt at Vista from Gucci because I just thought, oh, I want to have one thing from Gucci, and I loved it. But it's not a belt to wear when you want to create a waist, because that doesn't create a waist. And this does, though. It looks a little bit cool, but it just doesn't work.
Because it's a thick belt.
It's a thick belt. So the only place I have for thick belts is sometimes over a coat. Okay, so, I mean, all the wrong colours, all right? But if I wanted to belt this and just make it something a little bit different, so it's a lovely coat from Wild. But sometimes it's quite nice to belt coats. You don't expect when you wear a coat that you're going to show a really tiny waist, but it gives you some accentuation and it adds a style detail. So I like a belt like this just to give so it's changed the whole look of the outfit. And it's, in fact, when I wear a long dress with a longer coat over it, but it comes at a disproportionate length, so it might end below my knee and the skirt ends at my ankle, I'll always wear a flat shoe, and I love to belt it because I think it brings the whole outfit together And oddly, the pink in this
Yeah.
is reflected in the pink. So
It
so
actually
just
works.
Throwing it on, I nearly want to go upstairs and do an outfit of the day now, but it's just too bloody hot outside.
I love it.
But it does work. There's something, it could be actually, now Lucy and I are getting excited.
There's
because
pink in the belt as
there's
well.
pink in the belt, there's a thing. And I like that. If I was wearing the belt over the dress, I like it like that much more than if I just wore it like that.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like they don't match, but the belt made them match. And sometimes you want to find two things in your wardrobe that really shouldn't have a relationship with each other, but the belt can marry them together.
Yeah.
Like that.
Fabulous.
Good. We just came up with that one, Lisa,
Yeah.
didn't we? I love that. You know, it's every day I learn something new. And sometimes you need to be with a friend to both get to a conclusion together where you think, wow, that does work. And you want a reinforcement of your instinct that you think, I think that looks nice. So
Yeah.
try doing this with a friend too.
Yeah.
This is an example of when I'd wear a thin belt. So this is a dress from ASOS, and the waistline is in fact much lower, which I like. So I could leave it like that, but they only put the print on the front and not on the back. And I just thought, would it benefit from a belt? I might wear different shoes, by the way. So this is another belt that's had a really good lifetime in my wardrobe, and it's a Prada belt from literally 1993, I think. I nearly can date everything, it's like wine. 93 or 94? 93. But when I wear this dress, I wear this belt because it just is beautiful, doesn't look cheap, has the gold in it, and is quite ladylike. You know, that kind of sort of smart, you know, it's just, and then I think at the back it's, you know, I might just do we like it?
Yeah.
With it, I think it is. I mean, we haven't got the right, let's style it up, girls. Don't get carried away by thinking, oh, those trainers again, Trinny. Let's just put on some shoes I've never worn all summer, and I probably never will. I bought because I thought I can wear that height, and now I can't. Let's talk accessories with matching belts, shall we? What this does is emphasize how long my legs are, because I just put on very high heels. But if I didn't have this belt, do we prefer the dress?
With the belt.
With the belt. Do you prefer it with the belt or with the belt?
Yeah, I prefer it with the belt.
Okay. So this, I think I feel a very middle-aged woman. All right.
Okay.
But then the belt makes me feel like I've got more of a shape to my body, and therefore I've got more of a waist, and it just gives it something extra.
It's styled.
It's styled. Can I just say another little trick? If the belts are like this, but let's say they were longer, I'm just going to give you a Prada trick that Prada always taught me to do. So you take this. This is a way to wear a belt roughly, but you could do it something else. And you come up like that, and then you tuck it through like that. And it's a very nice way to tie a thin belt. So it doesn't look so twee.
Yes.
And I do this a little bit with perhaps not something so patterned, but where I don't want to be, oh, look at my buckle. I want to be, hey, I'm a bit more casual.
Yeah. And then earrings?
Earrings with this. So what I do, a little classic drop gold earring. This is now really doing the gold accessory moment, and I want to make sure it's not too matchy-matchy.
So you're taking different tones of gold.
Yeah, and you see, I think that doesn't work. I think that goes with that, but I don't think that gold then goes with that, and
Yeah.
it makes these look cheap.
Yeah.
But I do love the earrings with this, and it's making me think, should I change the belt?
Well, let's change the belt.
This is where you then suddenly spend, hey, I'm going to be another half an hour. You know that one?
Ladies, show this to your partners.
Yeah. So I'm not the only one. So I'm just going to go a bit wacky now to see if would I do that.
My first thought's no. It makes the dress look dull. Like the
Colour. It
colour.
makes the colour look dull. Ah, I know what I'm going to do.
Ding, ding, ding.
I know what I'm going to do. Ding, 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 ding. This is the belt I always wear with this dress. Why didn't I even remember? Let's start again. Love the thin Prada one. It taught you a few rules, but the colour at the end of the day, once you get to the earrings, is off. And these are tiny details that I get carried away with. So this belt could be the 5th belt I saved from the fire.
Oh.
This is Allegra Hicks, who's probably better known for wonderful home accessories. but she did do some clothing, and she did this belt and the same one in black. Now you're meant to wear the belt like that, which I could, but the way I do it with this is I wear it back to front. So I take that, put it on there. Smallest one doesn't still fit. Gorgeous! Texture, no buckle to interfere with the pattern. That's what was important. Goes incredibly well with the earrings. I've got, by the way, a bit of, what have I got on my lips today? VB, which is really nice with this. So from the front, classic chic, but the back of the dress, which sort of gave away the fact, you know, like accessorize, where I have the pattern on the front, not the back, because it's cheap, gives something new to the back.
Oh, wow.
You know? So
Yes.
wearing a belt back to front, so if you look at it like that and you think, who's in that dress, as opposed to who's in that dress? Many of you might have a kimono or a kind of wrap dress in your cupboard, or something that you just fling on over jeans, but something like this that needs a belt to make it into a dress. So there's two ways I do this, and I do it with a fun bright colour. And take the blue belt from Essentials Antwerp. These are great belts, by the way. I think they're going to do them every year. I just bought from Essentials Antwerp the first time this season.
Do you know how much they are, Trinny?
I think they're £80 or £120.
Okay.
But you're going to have it, cost per wear, it's going to choose a neutral shade to begin with, and it will go with everything. So I can either do that, but it's turned it into a dress. It's wide enough for me. It's a nice V. I'm not going to have that come across. If it was a thinner belt, I wouldn't have the structure to hold in that wrap.
Yeah.
So I can either do it that way, and I like the fact I brought out the lightest colour. Don't feel with belts you have to wear a dark colour. Sometimes it's the contrast in colour which actually gives emphasis to your waist. You don't need to think that black makes it look smaller. Please step away from that concept. It's just about shape and texture and colours going well together. So this is the other way. So I'm wearing it back to front, which is a much nicer way for me to wear a wrap dress, because I want the colour near. And it's really turned now into a fab dress. Much more. It's
great.
Yeah. And then at the back, the most important thing is that you just have that lovely sexy bit, and it just works. Yeah?
Yeah, I would never have thought to have done that.
Okay, well, turning dresses around, as you know, if you have really big boobs, doesn't work. But if any of those kimonos that everyone wears draped, turn them back to front, put a belt on them, thick enough to hold them in. I feel we've covered a lot.
Can we just say what, the belts that everybody should have?
Everybody, essential belts.
Essential
Let's
belts.
go down on the floor here. I'd kind of say essentials, a black belt, a stretchy black belt. A belt with an emblem, something in the middle, a heart, a big chunk of something, just to kind of, that you wear with a really plain, you might have a really old-fashioned black dress in your cupboard and you want to kind of jazz it up, so get that amazing belt which you go, wow, and it gives your waist back again to you. A metallic belt, gold or gold and silver together. So, if we look at that belt there, that belt has changed so many dresses for me. So having time to go to vintage shops and look at belts and look at them objectively, and you might think to yourself, would I wear that? But if the belt fits you and it's a great shape, just think a black belt, a gold or silver belt, and I'd say a neutral belt. So that to me is a great neutral. This is actually from Elvina Maya. I don't know where I got it. And it just does up like that. But I wear that with white, taupe, navy blue. A neutral belt like that, if you look at it with red, that's so much nicer with the red than perhaps if you went for the more obvious black, because it sort of cheapens the red. So having a neutral, and then the neutral would go with a leopard. The neutral would go with the navy blue. The neutral would definitely go with white. It's sort of, you can wear it with everything. So good neutral. And I'd say a white belt, which is a newer discovery for me, but I can't tell you how often this belt saved me. And those sort of white caftan dresses in summer, I know we're at the end of summer, but it just changes up your dresses. And so for next summer, you can look at all your sort of caftan-y dresses and you think, if I had a white belt over that, I could take that in my packing and it could be my caftan during the day and a very cool dress at night. Belts should make your wardrobe work harder for you.
Trinny, thank you so much.
Been a pleasure. Lucy, what should we do next?
Bags. Yes.
Bye.